All of your presentations are a really great segue into what I'm going to be talking about. And Jody, I have to say I love the alliteration on all the garden, or most of the garden. I think in two of the presentations, the snakes and yours, I'm seeing a theme growing of making things short and snappy and really enticing for people to become engaged. So that's something we can think about. The first part of my presentation, I'm going to just talk to you a little bit about the strategy that we're in the process of developing. I have to say that a lot of it has literally been kitchen table discussions after our social marketing working group got together. My executive director and Michelle and myself have been spending a fair amount of time talking over the phone and then talking literally at her kitchen table about what kind of strategy we'd like to envision and you know, how it's going to work. And what I like to say is we have a lot of good ideas and we need broader investment from people like you to make it work if our dreams can come true, I guess. Just a quick recap. Does anyone remember what the three main messages we had? I know you're probably just totally bombarded with information. So I just thought, oh yes, yep. Great, save. Like, so save, leave it, and these are just, again, ideas we played around with, but it seems like some people really like the idea of save, steward, and seed. So save, leave it alone, which is leave it alone. Steward, get involved, become engaged, and seed, so our grow wild concept that we've actually started thinking of as a maybe an umbrella brand for what we're doing. So these are some ideas that we've had for developing an outreach strategy. Our goal to identify and develop and promote iconic messages for species at risk in their habitat that resound with all your alliteration, resonance of the region, and collaboration with diverse groups. Some of our objectives are to really develop a targeted, community-based social marketing strategy, enhance outreach programs, like the outreach programs you're doing to help streamline messages. And we also want to provide transferable outreach tools. So, you know, everybody might have we have, you know, a bunch of different goals here. You know, how can we not duplicate things, but help create tools that all of you can use to help reach your goals, and maybe have that on under a larger umbrella brand and strategy. I just wanted to mention on page 5 of your little handout you got this morning, there are some of these ideas written down here, so you don't have to feel like you're going to write them down. Also, I think all of these slideshows we'll be able to post on the net, so you don't have to worry too much about that. But I do kind of want you to keep these ideas in mind when we do the discussion in the afternoon. So I'd really just thought I'd let you know about that cheat sheet. Some more strategy objectives. One of our goals to do with the recent funding is to, within 3 years, inspire 1,000 people to take habitat action. And our suggestion is to do that through a pledge program. And we'll talk about that in a minute. We want to market the behavior. Again, we want small campaigns to create a unified voice and do a multi-scale social marketing approach. Okay, so one of the challenges we've had with community-based social marketing, if any of you have taken Doug Mackenzie Moore's workshop, is that most of what's previously been done in the social marketing world is with energy conservation and health. So what Doug Mackenzie Moore wants you to do is create non-divisible actions, like turn off a light when you go out of the room. That's a non-divisible action. Or quit smoking. You can't like divide that up into certain various actions. Take out, like compost, or put in what do you call them, a temperature gauge in your house that switches on and off according to when you're there or not. So it's very difficult in the conservation world to get people to create or adopt a stewardship behavior that is non-divisible. So save, steward, and seed is kind of as close as we got to a non-divisible behavior, but I do recognize that that's not a divisible, like those behaviors can be divided up. So what we're thinking is that perhaps we could create an umbrella campaign, like for example, Grow Wild, just a wild idea, and then have a menu of options that participants can choose from. And what we'd like to do is if people choose, for example, I think I said this earlier, to plant, take on the task of creating a native plant and seeing it grow, that we could, over time, if they've taken the pledge, prompt them to take the next step and create an assemblage of plants. You know, if they're a couch potato, maybe their action could be just to get outdoors or get engaged a little more. So we have, here are some ideas for menus of actions. So seed, you could be creating a habitat, you could be creating a little downspout garden or a garden that you think could respond to climate change better, create resilient landscapes, those kind of ideas. So these are all the ideas, and we've made multiple charts with these types of ideas, and this is just one example, but I thought I'd share it with you. Okay, our target audience. As I said, there wasn't much of a division between urban and rural people when we looked at potential target audiences. But I think what we want to do at this point is, since only 2% of the population is of the land in Carolinian Canada is within private ownership, we want to approach landowners, people that have access to land, as our target audience. We also want to approach people that are on the cusp of becoming engaged, but they don't know how. So for example, we have a lot of people that are interested in native plants, but they don't know how. The big barrier, or they don't know what to plant. You know, it's a bit of a mystery to them because they don't know what the finished product might look like, whereas when you go to a nursery, you have a pretty good idea of what you're going to, if you buy a rose, you're going to get a rose kind of thing. But if you're going to buy something like blue stem, you know, how high is it going to be? Is it going to, if you buy a native mint, is it just going to go wild and take over your lawn? You know, there's a lot of unknowns. And one of the things I've been doing is really approaching horticultural groups, hort clubs and master gardeners, and I've been talking to them and asking them to take a pledge to plant one native plant. And actually, is Colleen still here? No, she. Okay, one of the things that I've really found too is, and maybe it's just because I can't answer all their questions about native plants, but I've really focused on the aesthetics and creating an appreciation of what is slightly a different aesthetic from a formal garden or a lawn. So trying to just create that interest and appreciation as part of it. Okay, so I want you to think about who your audience might be during this day.